Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you saw by the title, I am going to be showing you how to achieve flawless looking skin using all drugstore and affordable products. There's only one product I use that isn't necessarily drugstore or affordable. I did list it below just in case you were interested in it. And so yes, it is very simple and very easy to achieve as long as you follow all the steps. I hope that you guys enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe before you go. And yeah, so if you'd like to see how to get flawless looking skin, then just keep watching. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump into the tutorial here. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my skin. So when you prime your skin, you're always going to want to do something, use products that target your problem areas. So for instance, I have large pores and I have a little bit of redness. So for instance, I have large pores. So the primer that I'm going to be looking for is something that's going to help to fill those in. Now, some people have a lot of redness or really dry skin or really oily skin. So whatever your skin issues are and whatever you want your skin to look like, those are the products that you need to find to help target those problem areas. And even sometimes if I want my skin to be a little more glowy, I'll use like a glowy radiant primer to help make my skin a little more dewy and glowy, but like a natural radiance. So unfortunately, this is the only product I'll be using in this video that is not a drugstore or like affordable, I guess, and it's going to be the Benefit Professional Primer. And that is because I just haven't found anything that works as well as this. So I just put a little bit on and I'm going to tap it over where I have larger pores, which is my cheek areas, and maybe a little bit over my nose. Maybe I'll like do the excess there. So I just tap it, and then once most of the product is tapped into the skin, I'll lightly smooth my skin over, or smooth my finger over my skin. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of color correcting. So if you don't know what color correcting is, what it is you use products that are certain colors. So for instance, one of the ones I'm going to be using is green. So when you use a green color corrector, green, it counteracts redness. So I would put that in my red area, blend it out. Yes, it is going to be a little bit green, but when you put your foundation and everything else on your face, it will have that redness canceled out. So other ones is like orange cancels out dark circles. Purple helps dull skin, and then pink cancels like dark spots, like if you have sunspots or aging spots, things like that. Pink will help to brighten that up a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into what I have here. So the first one I'm going to be using is, this is from City Color. It's their Photo Chic Dark Spot Corrector. And you can get this at Walmart, I believe. If it's not at Walmart, it's definitely on Walmart.com, or you can get it on citycolor.com, but I will link everything down below for you as well. And I believe this is between about $5 and $7. And so when you open it up, it's just this orange cream consistency type product. And so I'm going to grab this little angled concealer buff brush type deal, get a little bit, and I'm going to put this on my dark under eye area. And especially when you're working with your under eyes, you don't want to put a lot of product. Less is sometimes more. The more product you put on your under eyes, the more cakey or heavy your eyes are going to look, and so you never want to look like that. So I didn't even put all that much, and so you can already tell how this one is still dark, but this one is much brighter, and you can barely see the purple now, which is good. And it almost gives the illusion of a more lifted under eye as well. Okay, so next for color correcting, I'm going to go in with this green one right here, and this is, it says Aurora Pro Color Corrector, and this is the shade Pistachio, and I actually just got this out of my Ipsy bag. So I don't really know how much this actually costs, but I will find it and link it below for you as well. So I'm just going to put, oh wow, hi. A little bit. If I need to add more, I will add more. And since I have a little bit of redness around my cheek area, I also have a little problem area right here that I might add a little bit of this to. Alright, so I'm just going to grab this little buffing brush right here, some Morphe E8, and I'm just going to blend this out lightly by just making these patting motions. I will say this stuff didn't blend out super well. I think it just dried really quickly, so with this stuff, just work quick. Yeah, that's what happened. It just dried really quick. I might just put a little bit on my nose as well, because I do get redness there also. Just a little dot. So next for foundation, I'm going to be going in with my LA Girl Pro Coverage HD Long Wearing Illuminating Foundation. And this can be found at Walmart and Ulta, and honestly, it's priced different at both stores. I think Walmart has it for like $5 and Ulta has it for like $7.99. So there's a little info for you. When I'm going for a look like this, where I want my skin to be flawless looking, I'm always going to go with something that has a heavy coverage. I don't want to go in with anything super lightweight or sheer, because you're not going to get that full coverage. And most of the time when you're looking for something that has a lot of full coverage, you're going to end up with something matte. I don't know why it's like that, but most of the time with dewy foundations, they usually don't have that much coverage. But this one claims to be illuminating. I've honestly never noticed that with this foundation. I don't really feel really illuminated with it. I always thought it was pretty matte for the most part. I usually go for something matte when I'm doing a look like this. When I'm doing a look like this, I always like to use a brush, because I feel like when I use a beauty blender or a beauty sponge, a lot of the product gets taken off, gets soaken up by the sponge, so I'm not getting that complete full coverage that I want. So I'm going to go in with my Morphe M439 brush. It's just a big fat synthetic brush. And also when I apply foundation, I pat it into the skin for the most part. I don't do a lot of rubbing around or anything like that, because I feel like I'm getting the most coverage when I pat it into the skin. I'm just pressing it basically into my skin. The shade is a little bit off because I'm extra pale right now, but I will fix that once we do our, concealer, bronzer, and all of that. I'll show you a little tricky trick. And if there's any place that you do want a little bit more coverage, you can always just add a tiny bit more foundation and do just another layer in that area. So I always like to do a little bit extra on my cheek area where my pores are. And so I'm just going to add a little bit more and just pat that into the skin. Okay, so next for concealer, this is what I always use. This is from Maybelline. It's their Fit Me Concealer, and I would definitely say this is a medium to full coverage. And when you're going with a look like this, you probably want to go with at least medium coverage. Unless you just have perfect under eyes, then you could probably just go with light coverage and be just fine. But this stuff is amazing. It's between probably about $5 and $7, but you can get this basically at any drugstore, Walmart, Target, CVS, Walgreens, wherever. So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to go all the way down to the corner of the nose, to the curve of the nose right down there, because as women, a lot of us get a lot of redness right over here. It's caused by hormones, so we're just going to cover that up. And then I'm just going to go in somewhat of a triangle type shape, but I'm just going to go upwards to give me more of that awake look, and I want just a lot of coverage. So I'm going to do the same thing over here as well. Going to balance out the rest of the face by doing the chin, the cupid's bow, our nose, and the forehead. I'm going to go in with that same brush I used earlier to buff out my color corrector, the Morphe E8, and just do the same thing I did with that, just press it into the skin. Since my foundation shade is a little bit different than my actual skin tone, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my concealer and I'm just going to put a little line here and here, close to the jawline, just to help the color fade a little bit better and make it look a little bit more natural. And another thing is that this kind of gives us like a natural contour as well. I'm also going to add a little bit of that concealer to my lids as well, because most people have discoloration or veins, things like that, redness on their lids, so this will help to cancel everything out. Even if you're not doing any eyeshadow or anything like that, I would still recommend doing this just so everything still matches. So you still have that coverage everywhere. Okay, so now we gotta make sure we set all of that with some powder. So I'm gonna grab my RCMA No Color powder. This is obviously not the original packaging it came in. The original packaging is a bit of a pain, so I just put it in this little thing from the dollar store. It just makes it a lot easier. But this stuff, it comes in about, I wish I had it, but I threw it away. It's a container about this big and seriously lasts forever. I've had mine for probably about a year, and I'm still going through it. But I will link it down below so you can find it really easy, but it retails for about $11, which is really good considering how long it lasts and how amazing it works, because most of the time this is what I use, and I like it better than most high-end powders that I've found. Now I'm going to be applying that with my Morphe E4 brush. It's just a little angled brush here. I'm just going to pat that on my under eyes, just back and forth, just to set it and make sure nothing moves or creases. I'm going to also put that on my lids as well. And with most people, especially, well, for me at least, the makeup on my chin wears off really quickly, probably because like you're like sitting like this, resting your hand on your chin or whatever. So I always like to pack this with like a powder just so it'll last longer throughout the day. And then also set my forehead as well. And one thing I love about this powder is I do have like fine lines on my forehead, and this stuff like helps, like they just like disappear. It's like if they fill them in, they just disappear, and my forehead looks almost smooth, which is awesome. So I pat it for the most part, and then towards the end I just kind of lightly smooth it over. And then whatever I have left on the brush, I just like to go around my nose and like mouth area. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with some bronzer. This is from Physicians Formula, and it is their Butter Bronzer, and you can get this at basically any drugstore as well, and it's about $11, but it smells amazing, lasts forever. It also comes with a mirror if you flip it up, and a brush, but honestly I don't use it. It's not very good. So for more of a light bronzed look, I'm not going to do any contouring today, so just to add more of like some natural color to our skin, I'm just going to grab this little fluffy brush here. It's from Luxie. It's their 514. I'm just going to grab some of that powder. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to lightly warm up the face using this. I'm also going to put it into the hairline. And on the temples and the forehead as well. But I'm going to keep it pretty light. Okay, so next I'm going to do some highlight. I'm going to go in with the City Color Highlight Trio. It looks like this, and you can get this at basically most drugstores too, I believe. And it's about $7 and $8, but you do get 3 highlights. And depending on your skin tone, you may not be able to use all 3 of them. Most people won't be able to, because there's one that's like really light, and there's one that's super golden, so that would be for darker skin tones for the most part. And then like a pinky type one, which would be good for about everybody. But what I like to do is I like to, when I'm more fair to medium skin, I like to mix these two together. I'm just going to grab a little highlighting brush. This is from Morphe's M510. I'm just going to mix those two and hit the tops of my cheekbones. I do like to get the apple of the cheek pretty well, because I feel like when you smile, you just get that nice little glowy shine. I like to hit the nose and the bridge of the nose a little bit. The chin, because I like that chin glow, and then up here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just finish up my eyes real quick, and I will be right back. So yeah, this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It really is super easy to achieve as long as you follow the steps and target, you know, certain products towards what your problem areas are on your skin and what you want it to look like. It really is simple. Yeah, it does seem like a lot of products as we're going through all of them, but it really isn't that much when you're sitting there. You're not talking the whole time like I am, so it definitely doesn't take as long as this video is. You just sit there, you have all your stuff, you go through all the steps, you do it, and it looks beautiful. You know, you have flawless looking skin. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye. So the first thing I'm gonna get, what am I trying to say? You know, it's a little bit mismatched. I'm also gonna lad, and I'm gonna, but yes, oh no, I can't get it back down. Okay, anyway.